Gosh, Hershell, you sure are ugly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frankenstein's podcast, where it's all about the monster. We're a creature feature podcast about monsters and why we love them. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Praska, and with me, as always, is
your other host, Khalid Hussein.
What's going on, Khalid?
Not much. I just got back from a Friendsgiving dinner. That was really, really nice. Got to see some old friends and eat some good food, and now I'm ready to talk movies with you.
That's right, Khalid. Friends are fun, but it's also Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, listeners, because this is going to be coming out the day before Thanksgiving, actually. And I'm really excited for this one because I think we finally, in 5+ years of podcasting, finally planned a Thanksgiving themed episode for our Thanksgiving time. It's not, there's only a couple, so we're finally doing it.
Thanksgiving as a theme is just like almost Christmas. Arguably,
yeah.
It's hard to find like things that like directly focus on Thanksgiving.
You're getting more of them. Like, was it Thanksgiving like slasher from Eli Roth that just came out? I think he made a sequel.
Surprisingly, I have not heard of or seen it.
What's on you?
Yeah. My bad.
Got a very special guest for this episode. I'm going to bring him in right now. We have Eric Ray with us, who is the co-host of the Double Loop podcast, a show where two fingerprint examiners discuss everything related to fingerprints and forensics. Eric is a lifelong fan of movies with a particular love of So Bad They're Good movies. Welcome to the podcast, Eric.
Well, thank you guys very much. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, like I said, very special episode, right? It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, we were talking over email a few months ago about possible movies to do, and this is a movie that I've watched many times over the years, and when it came up as a suggestion, you thought, how about a Thanksgiving themed episode? And I was like, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have a just from our email exchange, you seem to have a well of knowledge when it comes to like kind of a deep cut, as we'll say, So Bad They're Good movies, especially in like the horror, like monster genre, right?
Yeah. So back in high school, I worked at a movie theater. Then I worked at a video store, which even broader selection of that kind of So Bad They're Good movies, and watched through like high school and college all the Mystery Science Theater movies, or at least whichever ones I could get my hands on. Before you could just stream and download whatever you wanted. But over the years, just different friend groups watching these kinds of movies, and then going through reading about them in like back when it was more like a blog based internet, and now video channels that talk about these. So I don't know, I've just been I have my own little modest collection of VHS and DVDs of these things.
Okay, so you're a physical media guy too, huh?
Well, yeah, as much as I can. It's a fairly modest collection, but all of my favorites, I have to have a copy of them.
I say two because I am also a physical media guy. It's a big hobby of mine.
Awesome. Yeah, it's especially when you can't super rely on things sticking around on streaming services. It's got to be the way you go.
Yeah. Exactly. Couple of new guest questions for all the new guests on our podcast, Eric. I got those ready for you. The first question we always ask is, in all of pop culture, and this could be movies, books, shows, games, anything, what would you consider your favorite monster or creature? And if it's not the same, what do you consider to be the scariest that you've come across?
So I think I'm going to have to go with The Thing as my favorite monster. It's that movie. Of all the movies I remember seeing as like a kid, or not like a super young kid, but junior high school age kid, like on seeing it on Saturday afternoon TV or cable or whatever, and then going back as an adult and rewatching it, that's like one of the movies that has only gotten better. It didn't get worse as you're an adult, where it's like, oh, that's not as good as I remember it being. That's when it's just so good, and the monster in particular from it.
Oh yeah.
But for scariest, I I don't know. It's a little hard in that it's hard to be scared by movie monsters, but I may have to go with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just as a like. I don't know. It seems super real now, where so many people in the world can also now be so different than who you thought they were, right? And that just like regular people being scary, secretly scary, is maybe the scary part of it.
Oh, well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference for any iteration of the Body Snatcher movies? There's like 3 now, I think, right?
Oh, at least. So I think the 70s one with Jeff Goldblum might be my favorite, but I think they did one the original in like with the 50s.
Yep.
I think there was one in the 90s and the 2000s. I think there's at least 4, but
there's a Nicole Kidman one, I think, in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was the 2000s one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd have to go. I think with the 70s one, just that sweet, especially with the end scene with Donald Sutherland. Right, that's just iconic.
My gosh. Yeah, it's so good. The cast, though, Sutherland, Goldblum, and Leonard Nimoy.
Right. Yep. And what's
cast.
her name from Alien?
Sigourney or
no, not Sigourney. It was one of the other ladies from Alien.
Yeah.
But I'm blanking on her name right now.
Of course, I know. I remember like after we're done, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Next question for you: what do you consider yourself to be most geeky about? What's on your geek card?
Well, so I mean, I to be honest, I have to say fingerprints. I have a whole podcast about fingerprints, right? You can't get much more nerdier than having a podcast about something that has to be your nerdy thing.
Yeah.
But it's
Joe,
also
you owe me
job.
$5. We never shook on it, but you owe me $5.
He said beforehand, he's like, his geek card's going to be fingerprints, right? And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Not only that, but I gave your reason, Eric. I was like, he does a podcast about it.
I know this is a podcast format, so this might not really play, but one second.
That's fine.
I have here, this is a fingerprint made out of Legos.
Wow.
Another geeky hobby of mine. I have a bunch of the Ultimate Collector Series sets of the Star Wars Legos.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I've limited myself to only original series sets because otherwise I just wouldn't have space.
It's never ending, right? Did you make the fingerprint Lego? Like, did you design that pattern yourself, or was it a set?
Sort of. No, it's not a set. I found I made that like 15 years ago now. I found an app online called Pick to Brick that lets you just put in a picture and then it translates that into Lego for you.
Oh,
and then gives like a breakdown of how, like, which pieces to buy and then how to arrange them. That's how. So I kind of, I imported the picture, but a computer did the whole design part of it.
Yeah, fascinating. That's pretty cool. I got to find that.
Yeah.
So could you tell us just a little bit about the Double Loop podcast?
Yeah, so myself and Glenn Langenberg, who's my co-host, we're both fingerprint examiners. We both used to work for state agencies in the crime lab. And so that's when we started doing the show. And it's mainly a show for other fingerprint examiners. We usually go pretty deep into that topic. But we also have a lot of listeners that are just, they're not experts. They just like listening to experts talk about the thing that they're an expert in. And we'll occasionally go into like true crime shows like The Staircase or Making a Murderer, things that kind of, got bigger and lots of people have seen, and kind of give our perspective as forensic scientists about that. But, usually it's just we'll have a guest on like you guys do. To talk about, say, like the research that they've been working on, or some topic that they're interested in, and just do a whole deep dive into it. And we've been doing this for a long time now. We're almost to 300 episodes now.
Ooh, congrats! Got a big plan for the 300?
Nothing yet. We're no longer on a regular schedule. We just get so busy.
I get that.
Do it as much as we can, and So still no telling how much more time we have. A few more months maybe before we hit 300.
Exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So the Double Loop podcast, frequent guest of our podcast / my wife Nicole has been on the Double Loop podcast before.
Yep, that's how I kind of got connected with you guys.
The connection here, yeah,
is exactly is knowing Nicole from her job and sharing that expertise and seeing her at conferences and training classes and stuff like that. So no, it was when she mentioned just out of the blue about this podcast, I was like, wait, what? Why have you never mentioned this before? So that was an opportunity to go probably way too deep into way too obscure monster movies.
That's what we're here for.
It's the best. It's the best. I feel like when she told me that she told you about this podcast, she was like texting me like movie titles that you were like randomly bringing up. I was like, all right, adding that to the list. Yeah. I actually have listened to a few episodes of Double Loop. I do feel like it's I'm not very well versed in fingerprints at all, but I remember listening to, of course, the ones that Nicole was on, but then like I listened to your OJ series. That was really interesting. Yeah. Like bringing up the context of just like everything that's going on and like the sociopolitical climate. Like it was kind of all encompassing, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, I have a question for you, Eric. Sure. I'm going to ask you a fingerprint question, but it's just going to be like from a basic lay person who knows nothing about fingerprints.
I get those all the time.
What are your thoughts on the false negative rate in the FBI's latest black box study?
So the well, that's
full disclosure. Nicole gave me that question because I don't know anything about fingerprints. I was
really surprised.
That was not the question I was expecting, but
me neither, Eric.
But fair enough. So my answer would be, I think it's very encouraging that the false negative rate has dropped significantly since in the second black box study from the original one back in the 2010-ish time frame, and that a lot of that drop is because the community saw the error rate in the original study and then took steps to address it with additional training and policies, and that's really what the research is there for, is to show where our weaknesses are so that we can work to improve them.
Good answer. That's great. Yeah. What do you think about that, Clee? What do you think about the black box study?
I couldn't have put it better myself, Eric, and I mean it.
All right.
Well said. Yeah. But anyway, seriously, anyone who's interested in fingerprints or like forensics, like that, the podcast is great, and I do feel like you guys break it down enough that people who aren't in the field like can pretty much get what's going on. So it's cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, we try to do that. My brother's listened to every episode. Again, not an expert, and I would say he usually keeps up. There's some times where we kind of maybe dive a little bit too deep, but
we gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got it, right? Do you guys do like live recordings at the conferences and stuff, or like you kind of like celebrities with the podcast, right?
We've done that in the past. It's been a few years since we did a kind of a live recording, but I don't know, maybe that's something we can look to get back into. Things about 5.5 years ago, things kind of changed a little bit. So still looking to get back into to the new normal.
Right. Understandable. Well, anyway, thank you for answering those questions, Eric. Appreciate it. And as we transition into our topic at hand, I got a question for you, Khalid.
Yeah, Joe?
Why did the police arrest the turkey?
Why did the police arrest the turkey? All I got is beaking and entering.
They suspected foul play.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty good.
Hey, Khalid, what do you get when you cross a turkey with a ghost?
What?
A poultrygeist.
All right, 2 for 2. At least I don't know. Like the wordplay is good. You got Eric.
I'm loving the dad jokes.
What do you call a rude turkey?
All right, Joe. This better be the last one. What?
A jerky.
You should have bowed out. You've overstayed your welcome.
And that's a segue. What are we talking about?
Thanks for asking, Joe. Today we're talking about the 1972 horror film Blood Freak, directed by Brad Grinter and Steve Hawks, and I've got a synopsis from your homeboy Khalid, me, and it goes a little something like this. In a town clearly afflicted with some kind of gas leak or high levels of lead paint, Hershell tries to escape the horrors of the Vietnam War with that sweet Mary Jane. This rightly leads him down a Kafkaesque hell trip that convinces him it's okay to eat a whole turkey in one sitting. Haunted by his gluttony, Hershell morphs into Hershell with a turkey head. Or does he?
What a monster!
They're creatures of the abstract that live off potential energy.
It's alive!
Nice.
That was
nice,
amazing.
Very nice.
Thank
That
you.
was well said. All
Thank
right.
you.
Before we dig into thoughts, I did find, so it took me a little research, but I found some background into like how this movie all came to be. And so I thought that was interesting. So Brad Grinter, who you mentioned, was a part-time film instructor and he was also a nudist who made several nudist films that they used to call, quote, nudie cuties.
Not
It was
surprising.
Right. It was through these that he actually met Steve Hawks, who was originally from Croatia. It was trying to break into the acting scene. Hawks had done some like low budget Tarzan movies in South America. And fun fact, also came in first place in a Mr. Canada contest. However, Hawks needed money, so he started in some of Grinter's nudie cuties. And then the two actually decided to collab on this, Blood Freak. The film's original financier backed out during production and left Grinter and Hawks to complete it with their own resources, and therefore the cast was mostly made up of students from Grinter's class. I did find a weird interview with Steve Hawks where he was asked about this movie, and he referred to it, quote, as a sad chapter in my life, end quote.
Oh man.
So
well, now as we spend the next hour laughing at this movie, I'm going to feel bad.
I don't think he's around anymore. So unfortunately.
Well, true. I did. I was looking up Steve Hawks, and
yeah,
it looks like after a couple more movies, he kind of went on to do other things, but then came back for some zombie movie in like 2012 or so. So,
good for him.
Yeah, probably some low budget filmmakers, was like, hey, the guy down the street was in Blood Freak. Let's get him in our movie.
Yeah, that like cult film cred. You got to live that up.
So, Joe, if it's okay, I was looking around Brad Grinter's other films.
Oh yeah,
and came across one that just stopped me in my tracks, called Never the Twain.
Oh.
And I looked as hard as I could around the internet and found just one like 2-minute clip, but I really hope the whole thing still exists out there. So it stars a guy named Ed Trossel as himself, and the movie tells the true story where he was performing as Mark Twain, hence Never the Twain, at the 1974 Miss Nude World pageant, where he was possessed by the ghost of Mark Twain and then had to call up TV actor Richard Webb, never heard of him, to psychically battle with Twain's spirit for Trestle's soul. So that sounds like one hell of a movie, but
I dig it. I want to see that. That sounds amazing.
Unfortunately, not the movie we're talking about tonight.
True. This one's up there though. So
yes.
Let's just do. Well, we're gonna get into like a little. I'll have Eric do a little play-by-play of this movie because I'm just gonna make a guess that maybe a few of our listeners may not have seen this one. But let's just get into some initial thoughts. Eric, you kind of brought this one to us, so I'm guessing you have an affinity for it, correct?
Yeah. So this was with a friend group of mine that we used to watch bad movies. This became kind of an infamous one because it was kind of one of the movies that killed the bad movie watching nights. So we kind of took a break after doing a double feature with Blood Freak and the Star Wars Holiday Special. And those two back to back were just too much for most of the the group. But it just is so bizarre. It's the only like anti-drug, pro-Jesus, super gory Thanksgiving themed movie that I've ever heard of. And you know, I think I probably stumbled across a description of it online back in the day, ordered it off of eBay or something. So I have a VHS tape of it.
Awesome.
And it's one of those things where it sounds insane, and then if you get someone to watch it, it's even more insane than what it sounds like.
Yes. Very, very true. Very true. Khalid, have you seen this one before?
You know I haven't.
Khalid, what'd you think?
Oh man. What a trip. Like, this came out 3 years before Jaws. Like, what a leap, I feel like. And I know it wasn't as simple as like Blood Freak then Jaws, but like kind of feels like something happened in those 3 years. Man, this movie was unpredictable. I'll give it that. You'd kind of told me a little bit about it, so like I knew about like the reefer madness, like morality tale of it all going in, but just like on a qualitative level, it's like really hard to like suss out. There are entire night scenes where like I sent you a picture, it's just black. I wonder if they just like ran out of like their budget just like ran out of lights first, you know? The extras and like the supporting cast, you could put most of those people through like the Bob's Burgers cartoon filter and not change much. Like they're very easy. They're very easy to draw, if that makes sense. You know, I'm specifically thinking of like unibrow, like stoner guy. You know, I really I was intrigued by the thread of like Anne and Angel kind of like representing like temptation and like piety or purity. But I think I was more interested in the movie because it kind of immediately abandons it. I the just getting into the turkey head of it all. So curious what background you have on this because like what the fuck? It just stops at the neck. Like, the rest of it is just the same dude. And also, like, you know, you get bit by a wolf, you turn into a werewolf. You eat a turkey, you turn into a turkey head. Fine. Why do you have bloodlust? Where did that come from?
So yeah, let me so I think part of it might help to have seen the back of the VHS tape, right? Because I think part of it is just the explanation there, and also I think the other part is I'm assuming you guys watched it on YouTube.
Yep,
Yes.
the YouTube. Yep.
So yeah, I watched it with my wife and her brother. He happened to be in town visiting, and talked them into watching it last night. And then today I put it, and so we watched it on the big screen with the on YouTube. Today I put it into my old CRT with from on the VHS, and realized that boy, that YouTube transfer has some really dark scenes, and on the VHS, yeah, they're dark, but you could still kind of see what's going on.
I figured it had to be something with
I was hoping so.
Yeah, it was a compression thing for sure, but I was just like one bulb somewhere? Like,
I mean, probably, yes, but
they had a bulb in a dream.
I don't know. We need Criterion to like do a 4K remaster of this one.
Yes.
So.
I know what I'm picking if I ever get in that closet. Okay, but to wrap up my scattered thoughts of a scattered movie, I wish I could say I enjoyed it. I can say I was intrigued by it, especially like dirtbag, like sun-beaten Rod Sterling. Is it? Or is it Rod Stewart? No, it's Rod Sterling, right?
Who are you talking about?
The Twilight Zone dude that's like smoking.
Rod Sterling's the real Twilight Zone. That was
Right,
Grinter.
exactly. So yeah, I was saying like dirtbag California Rod Sterling.
Oh yeah.
Like just like chain smoking a cigarette, telling us all about how bad pot is, and like I was
So
just like,
funny.
brother, you should probably be warning us against whatever drugs you did that got you here. Like I feel like you're into the harder stuff.
That's one of the directors, right?
That's Grinter. Yeah, that's Grinter. Yeah, that was great. Like I feel like when I was watching it, like the first narration, I was like, okay, that was interesting. But then we keep coming back to him, like, and he's obviously looking down to read what he's saying, which is also very funny. But like the narration was so like it's just like philosophizing on like drugs and Jesus, and while chain smoking was great. And then he coughs in the end multiple times, and they just kept the take.
I thought that was the joke, though. Like that he's
was
like talking about like
I was wondering that too.
Talking about like your body's a temple and you shouldn't do chemicals and drugs.
Okay,
and then he just starts coughing.
I kind of love that if that's the joke, because I was like, is this part of the bit? Like I don't know. It could not be.
That's even better. Is you can't tell.
Yeah,
it's a joke or not.
I mean, he's got a stronghold in this movie as a director. Like it's a power move. I just feel like you watch the movie, there are multiple times the actors flub the lines or stutter, and he just rolls with it as a director, which is, just more power to him.
Well, I mean,
it's world building. They're all on the pot.
That's that too. But yeah, it had to be expensive to reshoot anything, right? When every foot of film is is so much to shoot and develop. But
especially in that time, it's like they're being scrappy as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe, you already kind of started on it, but like I am curious what your thoughts are on this.
Oh man, I have to say, like it's an absolute trip in some of the best and the worst ways, and I had a blast watching it. Like it's insane. I was laughing and giggling and just like having a good time, like texting people about telling them to watch this movie. I don't know, like the way that people talk to each other is very funny to me in this movie. Like they don't really always sound like they're having like a human conversation, which is fun. Love the scientists, like the dope peddling scientists who just like, hey, we can throw in some extra dope for you. Like those guys were easily my favorites.
They were the best.
They ruled.
Also cannot act.
Also cannot. But the whole turkey monster thing, like it's just, you can't beat it. Like you're right. He's just like a turkey head who strings people up upside down, cuts their throats, and drinks their blood. It rules. That rules.
Can we speak about the efficiency of that also? Like put a bucket down. Like
I mean, he's using his cupped hands.
Like you're wasting like half the blood. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like you're more or less still thinking like a person.
But you know what? And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, go see the movie. It's a dream, and so like it's dream logic. You could just hand wave it all away.
It's true. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, let me do a quick rundown.
Let's do that. Yeah.
That might be a little lost here. So the movie opens in early 70s South Florida with some dude on an Easy Rider bike and like a Captain America helmet riding down the highway. Comes across a lady whose car is broken down, and I don't know, somehow gets her back going again, and they caravan together to her place. So this is Angel, the good sister, and she introduces our husky man hero Hershell to her sister Anne and all of Anne's friends who are having a drug party, and there's lots of shots of the drug party. So Hershell kind of moves away from the drug party and goes and hangs out with Angel, meets their dad who runs a turkey farm and offers him a job. So after kind of trying to kind of push away all these drug ladies that are hitting on him, Anne, the bad sister, basically calls him a coward for not doing any marijuana, and he has kind of half a joint and starts giggling to himself, and they hook up, and he goes to his his job at the turkey farm, where he's wrestling with turkeys and gets recruited by these two scientists who I like to call glasses guy scientists and not a scientist.
Got like a T-shirt.
To do some experiments, including eating experimental turkey meat. He unfortunately, after that half a joint, is now addicted to marijuana, and
he's hooked, right?
He's hooked.
Yeah,
to the point where he's threatening the dealer's like life. I'll break every bone in your body if you don't give me a steady plug of weed.
You better take care of me. Yeah,
I thought that scene was clearly the basis for the Pulp Fiction overdose scene. A couple decades later. Right. So he does some more weed because now he's hooked, and then he eats the experimental turkey meat as the scientists give him an entire turkey to eat. And either the drugs or the turkey causes him, or both, cause him to pass out in the bushes, and he is transformed into a turkey-headed monster. And I think it's the back of the VHS box that really explains this. Because he has the head of a turkey now, he can no longer do drugs, right? But he's still hooked on drugs. So the only way for him now to get the drugs and not go through withdrawal is to drink the blood of other drug addicts.
Whoa!
I had kind of made that connection of like, well, I guess they're high or whatever, so he could be trying to transfer it, but like that just seemed like such a horrible way to do it.
With cupping his hand to catch the blood, and then just putting the tip of this paper mache turkey mask into his hands to drink the blood.
Like I like donuts, for example. I don't think if I ever got like cursed to not be able to eat donuts, that like my plan A is to string people up and drain them after they've eaten a donut. I just don't think I'm gonna. It's just not the same enjoyment for me. Like even weed, I like weed, but like part of why I like it is that I did not have to drain the life force out of anyone to get to it.
And then this is weak ass 70s weed too, right?
It's ditchweed. It's Reggie.
So yes, as you guys alluded to, turns out this is all a dream. He wakes up, and the ending goes on much longer than I remembered. It's been and he and Anne, I don't know, live happily ever after or something.
Yeah, we find out that he was like addicted to drugs because of his time in Vietnam, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna help you get sober."
Right. And then
that was it. Yeah,
everything works out in the end.
Yeah, she apologized. She's like, "If I would have known you were already addicted, I wouldn't have pushed it on you." Right?
So it sounds
I don't
like
think that's true. She was hard selling him on the weed. Like she was asking him if he wanted weed before she knew anything about him.
Well, she was using the Marty McFly tactic, right? Calling him a coward, and there's no other response, right? You have to now.
Yeah, you gotta. So I just want to talk about the scientists, what they're doing. So I wrote down the quote when I listened to it. The main scientist, he says, "We're testing the chemical caponization of poultry." He says poultry, but we need a human to eat the meat to see if there are any side effects. I didn't actually know what caponization was, so I looked it up. It's a surgical castration of male poultry to remove their testicles. So it's like chemical castration. And the idea, it's a real thing. It does make the meat more tender and fatty. However, it is a controversial procedure. Animal welfare, usually no anesthesia, those kinds of things. So basically that's what they're doing to the turkey.
That makes me think that either one or both of those scientists were the actual owners of the turkey farm where they filmed this, because there's clearly it's at a turkey farm, right? Because there's turkeys all over the place. Because like where else is some movie director or actor or nudist enthusiast going to find out that term and know what it means?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be it. Like they're like, can we use your turkey farm and you guys can have a role?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Felt exactly like who those guys were.
Yeah, that was great. That was wild. I also love when before he becomes the turkey man, how like they assume that he's dead and they just dump him. And this is another one I wrote down where the dad comes back and says, quote, "So why did you take him out and dump him? Don't we have enough trouble in these experiments without taking a chance on a murder charge? All we did was give this guy some turkey." He like stuttered there. That's why I had the guga. But yeah, it was wild.
Well, I also like when after he turns into a turkey, one of his first things he does is goes him back to visit Anne. Anne's the bad sister that got him hooked on all these drugs. And that theoretically, it's the combination of the drugs and the experimental turkey meat that did this to him, right?
Yeah.
It was all these things. And she says, after he comes back with the turkey head, "Gosh, Hershell, you sure are ugly. I've got a guilty feeling I caused all this." And then starts, again, he now can't talk, right? So Hershell, for a big chunk of the movie, he's wearing this turkey head, can't say anything, but they still dub in, like ADR for him to try to communicate, which is just one single gobble gobble audio clip played over and over and over again. And I don't know about you guys, but every single time the movie, this giant man's walking around and it just goes gobble gobble gobble. I could not stop laughing every time the gobble gobbles came out. But she starts
so funny.
She starts, wondering, what are their children going to look like? They just met, right? And he's now a turkey monster, and she's wondering what their children are going to look like. And then the movie is, again, like you guys said before, the screen is very dark. You can't see anything. You just hear her voice saying, "Oh, Hershell, what are you doing?" And then gobble, gobble, gobble. That was a good 5-minute laugh after that.
That was an absolutely bonkers sequence. That whole sequence that you're just describing was so dark for one. So I was confused,
Right.
but like in that sense, but it's basically Anne, like that actor is just given like a 5-minute monologue in a sense, like just talking. And
it's not done well.
No, it's not done well.
But we are struggling alongside the actress who plays Anne.
Yeah. It's amazing though, like where she goes from like, "Oh, did I cause this to what are our children gonna look like?" And she does have another line that I love where she says, "It's all right if I don't look at you." Gosh, you are ugly. Oh my gosh.
Well, so question for you guys. Usually, a normal person can't eat an entire turkey, right? That doesn't seem, again, we're coming up here a week of Thanksgiving. Good call. Do you think it was some sort of super munchies after the weed that he smoked that then led to, boy, now, the scientists were just like, "Here, eat some of this turkey." And he took it upon himself because of just super munchies to eat the entire thing.
I think it's a fair assumption. Yeah. Super munchies.
I mean, they said he's husky. Like, let the big boy eat.
But obvious that he was gonna fall into the bushes and fall asleep, right? All that tryptophan, you're just out.
That's so funny to me though that he did like basically tranquilize himself, but like in like the most like oafish way. Because like that really is all it is like a movie about like a guy that meets some new people, does some drugs, eats too much, and then like passes out and has a bad dream. Like that's the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, at its most basic, that's the movie.
And I do feel like they like really like padded out with the like interludes of the dude smoking a cigarette and stuff, because even then it's barely hitting 80 minutes. Like I think they had 40 minutes of idea, and the real like sweaty parts are the ways that they extended it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, especially that narrator guy, man. He was they definitely turned off the AC in that Florida, living room where they filmed that scene, because he was dripping sweat while wearing whatever polyester shirt he had on.
Oh,
That man has never seen a bottle of suntan lotion or sunblock. Like, just leathery skin.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the cutting of the neck and the blood flowing, and that it again, it's been a few years since I've seen it, so I was surprised about how late into the movie that all comes. Like, we're talking maybe we're at least an hour in, or almost an hour in, before that even starts. And then it goes from this kind of pro-Jesus, anti-drug message from the first half or 2/3, and then throats cut and legs being sawed off, and it kind of goes hard on the blood here, and right towards the end.
It really does. Like the gore effects, like they were funny, but there was the sawed off leg was pretty good, actually.
I liked it. Yeah,
I like that part. That guy sucked too. So he
for the record, this completely fabricated guy just gets like such a brutal end.
Yeah. he does. It was great. That was cool. But yeah, the stringing up and the cutting of the neck too. Like, I did love. You could tell some of the blood effects were from varied sources, because there's lots of different color gradings of the red, which was kind of fun.
Oh yes,
yeah, I enjoyed that.
Very ketchupy style blood for a few of those,
especially
scenes.
The first couple. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. We kind of have already like transitioned to talking about the monster specifically here, but I think someone of you mentioned it, but yes, the turkey. I was trying to do a deep dive as much as I can, because in this time of the podcast, I usually dig into like the creature effects of it all, and I didn't find a whole lot on this, other than just the fact that the mask was paper mache, like it absolutely was, and that the character of Hershell was named after B-movie director Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Hershell not being a super popular name, but that was. You hear that, and my first thought was that's probably what they're referencing.
It's a reference, yeah,
exactly,
absolutely. But yeah, other than that, like there's not really much else to say about the creature effects of it all, because it's just a paper mache mask on the guy. But yeah, there was. Is there any other like turkey monsters out there? Like, is this the only one? I can't think of any.
So there's one from, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago called Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a good name.
It's a great name, right? It's just sitting right there for someone to use. And unfortunately, the wrong movie, I think, picked it up, because it's it's not great. It's just a turkey puppet. It's kind of a it's like a smack talking, in your face kind of insult. Insult. So imagine like Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, but a turkey, and he kills people. But
cool. Okay, cool.
But written by people who aren't funny.
So not even a so bad it's good type thing.
It's just rude. It's just a rude turkey, not even funny.
It's just kind of a rude turkey, yeah. And but no, I wouldn't put that in the so bad it's good. It's just it goes on, and there's not the laughs that you get in Blood Freak.
I gotta ask though, is there a way to make an effective turkey monster? Like, are we being a little too hard on the few people that have tried, and not just kind of shrugging and going, yeah, what the fuck is a turkey monster? I can't even say that without feeling stupid.
Fair. I for something like this, right? Really crazy concept. I would go see a James Gunn remake of Blood Freak, right? Like, absolutely. James Gunn could pull it off.
Oh man, James Gunn and A24 team up. It's just a bunch of Gen Z actors getting chased by a turkey head.
But and then, like you'd mentioned, the Eli Roth movie, I think last year, Thanksgiving. I think I think it was more just a serial killer who put on like a turkey mask.
Yeah.
And that was from, what was it, the Grindhouse
It was
movies?
one of the Grindhouse trailers originally, and then they
Yeah.
made a full length. I thought they made
That's
or
right.
were making a sequel. Maybe they didn't, but
Oh, I hadn't
yeah,
heard that, so maybe.
yeah. I don't know. It could have been just a joke.
But yeah, other than that, you know, I don't think there's a whole lot else, you know, really out there. But like, I mean, to be fair, you guys, like you guys said, you know, it's not like you know, long line of you know, writers and directors that really have to, you know, take this concept and run with it, right? There's plenty of other concepts to copy from that, you know, were more successful and probably more interesting.
Well, the nice thing about it then is this can easily be in your Thanksgiving rotation. Like you could watch it every year and not have to like rotate through a bunch of other movies.
I mean, that's fair enough, good enough reason for me, right?
Right.
You know, I mean, you had mentioned the paper mache mask. I think the other really key aspect of the monster is that dub, right? The audio
Yes,
dub.
the dub. Yes.
That just that gobble gobble sound over and over again, and even the suspense sting in the score or behind it every time he pops out. It's just the same thing over and over again, and it just becomes funny. Like this, you know, googly eyed thing jumping out of the shadows is it's just so ridiculous, and you know, it makes you wonder as they were making it, like as they were, you know, layering on the paper mache to create this mask, like, you know, were they at some point going, oh yeah, this is great, this looks great, you know, like good job guys, like what was it like behind the scenes in the making of Blood Freak?
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering how many did they make just one mask, or do you think there were a couple? There's got to have been a couple, right?
Oh, I don't know. Just with the rest of the production, you know,
yeah,
and maybe that's why some of those scenes are so dark. It's because the mask is starting to fall apart.
yeah, they had to like block it out a little bit.
I don't know, maybe, but
yeah,
especially like some of those scenes are the blood's like pouring fake blood right on the face of the mask that had to start to dissolve it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. What did you guys think of the hands just demolishing a turkey? That shot.
Oh, right at the end, like that final shot.
Yeah, when they're all just like ripping chunks and chunks off of a turkey. What did that signify to you?
I see. That was kind of a surprising moment, right? Because it was like, you know, he'd kind of gotten hit over the head, and then there was a kind of a brief shot of an actual turkey being, you know, decapitated. And then it was like, you know, the turkey mask, and then a roast turkey, and then they were like sitting side by side, and it was like keep flashing from one to another, and it almost looked like this attempt to kind of, you know, bring an artistic, you know, some artistic editing to everything. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to say with all that, but it you know, it definitely, you know, gets your attention and says, look at this.
It's one of the few artistic choices in this that I'm like, I don't hate it. And it really just like speaks to like my experience with this movie of like, this feels like two directors that probably didn't agree that often trying to make a movie, where it's like, there was like a couple of shots where when he's eating the turkey, they do a shot on the doorway with a reflection, so you can see people coming and going there, and less about like putting the camera directly on anybody. And even that felt like an artistic choice in a movie that overall wasn't concerned with art.
No, yeah, you know, sometimes it's just, you know, you just you only have so many feet of film, and you just gotta, you know, go and get the shot. But at some point, someone said, "No, hold on, let me do this." Right? Trust me, this is important.
Yeah.
This shot, yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, the film thing isn't real. Like, Spielberg had a whole studio and the money to do it like the way he wanted to, but that's a very expensive way to do it. So that makes sense.
Yeah. What? So the scene with the hands ripping the turkey, like you're talking. How many hands were there? Do you remember? Was it
Had to be
multiple
like
people?
5.
Right.
Yeah, it was like
I think it was multiple
5.
people.
So
Yeah.
my thought. Here we go. This is the metaphor of that scene. What it's trying to say. So we have the previous scene where it's him eating the turkey alone, right? And then we have zoom-ins of him eating it like with his own 2 hands. But then at the end of the movie, when he wakes up from his dream, he's like, I need help, right? Because I had this drug problem. The idea is you shouldn't be eating the turkey alone. You should be eating the turkey with friends because you should ask for help when you eat it.
Okay. I thought you were going in a different direction there. I thought you were
I
going
did
in
not
the.
expect that turn. I didn't think it was the real blood freak or the friends we made along the way.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that.
You shouldn't take this journey alone.
See, the first the first act of the movie, he keeps meeting all these new people, right? And they're all just these, asking to him to join the group, and then telling him that he's an idiot and get out, and the 2 sisters are pulling him in different directions, right, towards drugs and towards Jesus. And so I thought where you were going with that was the turkey head, and then all these hands coming and ripping it apart is tearing Hershell in all these different directions from all the people that are pulling him with different expectations of who he should be.
I will say,
That's a good point, actually. I don't know you say that. When you were describing the beginning of the movie and meeting friends, like I was thinking about my rationale and like, oh, making friends is good. It's like I feel like this movie actually might be like a making friends is bad metaphor. So maybe I'm wrong.
Well, making friends with Florida stoners, maybe. But also, like, there's nothing friendly about, like, they're talking friendly, but they're like ripping this turkey to shreds. It's not being done in a come eat with me kind of way. It's weird. And I don't know, like, especially like the Christianity aspect of it, and like consuming the deities and stuff like that. I'm not Christian, nor was I raised one, so I can't like speak to this in any knowledgeable way, but there seems to be something there about like faith and consuming it and what that means.
It's Jesus, right? Take this, all of you, and eat it. My body.
The turkey is Jesus.
Yeah, we solved it.
Or it's a warning about going to Thanksgiving with your family, right? And sometimes you got to be careful about all the different directions your family's going to pull you into, when you're there for the holiday.
Well,
the true fear of Thanksgiving.
I don't think, because Hershell had very distinctive hands. I don't think his hand was one of the hands in that shot.
No, so I think you're right.
Is he the turkey? Is he getting consumed?
That might be it.
I mean, it was almost like the turkey head was sitting next to the turkey meat, right? So it was almost like the turkey head was like, maybe it was like that the turkey head is there, and then the turkey meat is like the body of Hershell now.
Yeah. I think they should have just like gone for it and had like a headless body get torn apart at that point. But I see what they were doing.
I think we may have looked a little too deep into the abyss that is Blood Freak.
I'm wondering if any other podcast has gone this deep on Blood Freak.
I really doubt it.
Maybe How Did This Get Made? But I don't know.
I don't think they've done that. I haven't done this one.
Yeah.
This is our claim to fame here. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of consuming, Khalid.
Gross.
I am bringing back a bit that's been gone for a few episodes. Would you fight with, or would you flirt with Hershell the turkey man / monster to survive?
Okay, first of all, since it's been a while,
Fight or
Flirt is a segment that kind of is exactly what it sounds like. Would I fight with the monster we've been talking about, or would I flirt with it to survive? And this is the easiest fight ever. I just gotta not do pot around the monster, and it has no interest in eating me. Like, I'll do a hiatus. I'll take a couple weeks break out. Like, well, but also, That's all in a dream. Sorry, is it fight or flirt just a vet? like a Vietnam vet? Like, I don't know what to do either.
So Hershell seemed like a pretty easygoing guy, right? He as people kept coming up to him, flirting with him constantly in the first act of the movie, and he was pretty easygoing in general. And then at just the slightest of, no thanks, I'm just going to go over here, everyone just started like attacking him, yelling at him, calling him names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think as long as from what we see in the movie, as long as you're not doing drugs or running up to attack him, it seems like he seems like he's pretty cool. He'll just go along and get along.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd flirt with, if I had to pick, like, flirt with him by, like, offering him weed. He seemed into that for a bit.
You could introduce him to the concept of a contact high. Maybe that would solve a lot of problems.
I will say, though, as someone who does partake in the dirty lettuce, I would not smoke with any of those people. They were insufferable. Quickest way to ruin a high. I could not.
Some other way to introduce the drugs might get around that need to drink the blood of others, right? It just kind of solves everyone's problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. Well said. Any last thoughts on Blood Freak for our audience before we transition?
Well, I would just encourage everyone to in this holiday season, as you're cooking your turkey dinner, or after the kids have gone to bed, it's on YouTube for free. Why not throw it on and have a good laugh at one of the most ridiculous and, in my opinion, hilarious movies that's out there. And especially if you've been through and you enjoy yourself some Turkey Day Mystery Science Theater episodes, this fits right in with that same kind of vibe.
Yeah. My final thought, listeners, if there is ever effectively been a scary turkey in media, please just give us that as an example. I'm curious. Because, like, the more I think about it, the more they, like, turkeys are like the Jar Jar Binks species of, like, our planet.
So far.
Yeah. Just really hard to take seriously.
Yeah, that's well said.
And then until eventually they, like, become like a senator or something, and you're just like, what the fuck? You're a senator now?
Not too far off, man. Not too far off.
Vote turkey 2030.
Yeah. I'll put the link to the Blood Freak YouTube video in our notes. It's worth it. I mean, honestly, like, I think to what you were saying, Eric, earlier about Thanksgiving being just like not fun to watch. Like, I think part of this is just like the earnestness to it. Like, they're trying to make a good movie here, or make something serious, and it's like, it's scrappy, it's earnest, it's absolutely absurd, and that's kind of why it's fun. Like, I don't know. I think that makes it worth it. It's a good time. So.
Every completed film is an accomplishment.
Right. Especially when you're trying to save film, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a yes, going through and completing, making a full-on movie and having it released it just takes so much work. And when for me, this is the kind of bad movie I like, right? The ones that where the director and the actors are kind of in on the joke. I don't know. I just don't find as enjoyable.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well sometimes. Yeah,
but something like this, where you just shake your head and go, like they were really trying, and this is hilarious. That's my jam.
Yeah, makes me optimistic, Khalid. I know that you'll get your film made.
Thanks, man. Blood Freak 2, God willing, someone will find it.
Yes.
This time he keeps the head, turkey body.
Hell yeah. I love the direction you're taking it. I'm into it. Final segment of our show is our What the Fandom segment, in which we share something that we are into at the moment that may or may not have anything to do with monsters, may not have anything to do with Blood Freak, probably won't. Just something that we watched, listened to, read, played that we wanted to share with the listeners that we'd recommend. We usually let our guests go last, Eric. But Khalid, why don't we start with you? What the fandom with you this week?
Thank you for asking, Joe. My What the Fandom this week is going to be the 2024 horror comedy film I Don't Understand You. It's on Hulu. It was directed by David Joseph Craig and Brian Crano. It stars Andrew Rannells and Nick Kroll. I don't want to spoil too much of it because a lot of what really worked for me was the twist within the movie. But the overview of it is that uh, uh, same-sex couple is going to Europe, and they're also desperately trying to adopt a kid. So like all of that's like intersecting at the same time, and we're kind of seeing how they work as a relationship, as a dynamic within the relationship, and then something happens that really just kind of throws them into a loop, and that's where like the comedy really like sings. And both these guys are just such talented comedians in their own right, but they get to like really tap into some dramatic moments. Their chemistry is really good. And yeah, it was just a delightful surprise. I just threw it on thinking the trailer like sold me, but the movie really, really just was a satisfying and rewarding watch. And I feel like it's one of those hidden gems that you don't really think about because nobody markets movies anymore. Thank you, Netflix. And yeah, so that is my recommendation. Try to not watch the trailer like I did. It spoiled it for me. I feel like there is a turn in the movie that I think hits really hard if you think you're watching one movie and then something else happens. So check that out. I Don't Understand You. It's on Hulu. And Joe, what the fandom with you?
Thanks for asking, Khalid. That sounds like a good time. I have to check that one out. I'm actually going to recommend two movies that I just watched over the past week that I found interesting for different reasons. I recently, one of my favorite streaming apps is Tubi. You find all sorts of fun stuff there. But I watched the 1979 movie And Justice for All, which I think I texted you about, Khalid, but it's an early Al Pacino movie. And I've been an Al Pacino kick lately for some reason, young Al Pacino. And it's just like a story about how he's like an idealistic young lawyer who takes on the justice system, takes on like difficult cases, and it's very like very forward thinking for the time, and it's really interesting because it's coming upon that era where I think like a lot of stuff in the criminal justice system was shifting with like the coming of like Reagan era. Very a very progressive mindset for the era as well. But it's a very fascinating movie. It's kind of a black comedy, and it reminds me a little bit of in tone like a Catch-22 or even like a MASH in a sense, where it's like a lot of a kind of series of like various almost vignettes and different things that happen. It has a very early role for Jeffrey Tambor in it. Like he has a young lawyer in it, which is funny because it's weird for me to think of Jeffrey Tambor as a young person. But I was really impressed with the movie. Like it kind of it's meandering at first, but the last like 45 minutes go hard, and it has the climactic speech which has been parodied so much, where he just yells, "This whole trial is out of order," and that part. So it's a fun Pacino role. He goes big, and it has a lot of interesting stuff to say. The other one I wanted to recommend though is we just watched The Life of Chuck, the Mike Flanagan film. That's the Stephen King adaptation. We watched that the other night. I missed it in the theater. I really wanted to go see it in the theater, but I'm glad we got a chance to see it. It just came out earlier this year, but I think it debuted last year at Toronto Film Festival. But Life of Chuck, it was. I don't want to. I don't. It's another one I don't want to say much about. Like you said with yours, Khalid, because I feel like going into it not knowing what it's about was much more of a impactful journey. I say Stephen King, but it's not in the horror realm. Like there are some fantastic elements to it, but it's much more of like a story about a person's life and what that means, basically. And that's all you really kind of need to go. But it's got a banger cast. Like Tom Hiddleston is in it, Jacob Tremblay, a ton of other people. Carl Lumley has a really fun role. Mark Hamill. So like great cast. I would recommend it. It's a good movie. And so two very different movies, but I enjoyed them both for different reasons. So I'd recommend those two. And then I'll pass it off to you, Eric. What the fandom with you?
So yeah, earlier this year, I got into a book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. That is, the then the first couple chapters just fell in love with, and see, the book 7 just got released in this series, and it's just fantastic. It's hilarious. It's at times poignant. It's a cross between let's see, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and an MMORPG. So Carl is aliens kind of take over the Earth and start destroying it, and they say that if you want to reclaim the Earth, you have just to get to the bottom of this series of dungeon levels. And so he goes into a dungeon with his girlfriend's pet Persian cat named Princess Donut, and inside he gets like a heads-up display where everything just kind of operates like an MMORPG, and he has to make his way through all these different levels of this dungeon, and it is amazing and hilarious. And I just got here like last week the book 7, and just getting into it now. So highly recommend Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Awesome recommendation. I've heard nothing but good things about that series. It's been on my list for a while, so this might be the push. I got to finally start it.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Sounds like a blast. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us, Eric, and thanks for making the time. I know you're probably plenty busy with all the work that you're doing, but this was a delight to chat monsters and just really like finally watch Blood Freak. Check that out. So got that on the resume now. But yeah, no, truly, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. I've been looking forward to coming on the show here for a few months, and glad we could finally do this. Love talking about weird monster movies, and this is a great opportunity to do that.
If you ever want to send a list over of some other monsters you like, well, we'd be happy to have you back on for sure.
Yeah, maybe I can be your guest for those movies no one's ever heard of, the monsters that are more funny than scary.
Exactly.
Cuts.
Deep cuts. Do you have any I know we talked about the podcast. Was there anything else you wanted to plug before you head off? Any like social medias or anything, or events or things you got going on?
No, I think that's it. Just the Double Loop podcast. I'm not really on social media or anything, but if anyone's interested in that type of podcast, again, very different from the one you guys run here, but find me over there, and appreciate any listeners that head our way.
Awesome.
Well, this was a great episode. Thank you so much, Eric. Truly just reiterating everything Joe said, but I love doing obscure movies like this. It really opens your mind up to possibilities. Thank you everybody at home for listening. Just a friendly programming reminder, we do have a Patreon if you want to support this podcast. We have $1, $3, $7 tiers. Time to time we'll put up an extra episode, call them Frankenbits, if we want to talk about something that goes beyond the scope of creature features. We contain multitudes. But yeah, thank you as always for listening, and until next time, creep it easy.